Hello, everyone. In today's episode, I'm joined with Dan, and today's going to be a really interesting episode. It's going to be talking about autism. Dan's going to be sharing about what he does and about his autism too. So, thanks, Dan, for coming on and having a conversation with me today.
Hey, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Dan, could you do a little introduction of yourself, just so people know who you are? I'm sure they do, but in case they don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course I can. So my name is Dan Jones, but my online name is the Aspie World, which is basically, my online handle pseudonym. And I create autism educational content, which is fun, educational, but engaging at the same time. I release content on every single social media platform available, as far as I'm aware, any of the big ones anyway. So it's good. It's going good. That's what I do.
Yeah, well, I've seen some of your content, and it's really good. Like you, I think the most recent video I saw of yours was I think of a robot. What was it? Like a robot?
Yeah, it's an AI robot called Cutie.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was oh my gosh, I'm so sorry everybody listening. You just heard my mic crack everywhere. That robot was is designed to help autistic kids learn social skills, general educational skills. It's a great robot actually. And I was contacted by the company Lux AI, and they said, "Hey, do you want to check out this robot?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I have the robot with me. You can probably see it. It's in this box right here. This like coffin shaped box, but I had the robot for about I don't know, maybe 3 months, and I recorded some videos with it, and it's been really fun. I really enjoyed it. But I think that robots definitely help with autism.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what the future's going to be, isn't it? Like
Yeah, 100%.
robots and everything.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's like you play those games and then you watch these films about like the future, and then you feel like that is going to be the future with robots and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like at the end of the day, virtual reality or mixed reality, artificial intelligence and robotics is definitely like the future. You know, it's a natural progression of where we're going intellectually. So, yeah, it's good to be ahead of the wave, really.
Yeah. So Dan, with your work with like the Aspie World and stuff. So what do you like? How long has that been going? Um,
It's an interesting question because like I've been doing the Aspie World for let's say, well, I uploaded my first video in 2013, but I didn't actually start actively posting videos on there properly until 2017, 2018. And that's when it really took off, you know. So since 2017, I've been like full on like Aspie World is like my jam. This is what's going on. And it's been a wild ride. I've enjoyed every second of it, and I love it. And it grows every single day. You know, it's amazing.
yeah, and like was that like the plan like at the beginning to be like like as a job, or was it just like a hobby to start with and then it grew into that?
Do you know, it's funny. Because a lot of people ask me this question, but you know, and I'll tell you something interesting about YouTube. If you go into YouTube wanting to do it as a job, you will never do that as a job. And so it kind of happened accidentally. I started uploading video content on autism and my condition and how my just how my brain works and all this kind of stuff. And then all these people started subscribing and asking for more videos, and it snowballed. But it came to a tipping point, though. There is this where if you're uploading content and how much of your time is spent making content, and then when's the tipping point where you go, okay, well, now I have to either quit doing content and get a job, or make content creation my job. And so there is that kind of like middle ground where you have to kind of make an active decision: how am I going to monetize what I'm doing? And it's a scary one. I mean, I took a leap of faith, but in terms of my mind, I was like, look, I want to help as many people as possible. I'm only going to be able to do this if I take a risk. And my prerequisite was like, look, as long as my bare minimum is taken care of, like I can get food to feed my family, I can pay for the rent over our heads and our utility bills. Everything else can be put on the back burner, you know, lavish holidays or, you know, new iPhones and all that crap. All that stuff can go to one side. As long as the bare basics are met, let's take that risk. And I did, and it paid off. And I advise everybody to take a risk when you want to.
Yeah, I think you have to, don't you? Like to take
Yeah.
those risks.
Yeah, life's about taking risks, man. We as humans took a risk to even be alive. Do you know the actual phenomenon of being a human is so rare, you're more likely to get struck by lightning 10 times than to be born. You know, the odds of being a human are 400 trillion to 1.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
you
quite
literally are a
crazy.
miracle. So it's like, and that's a risk, you know, being alive is a risk. And I think, like, you know, we take risks just being born. So why not just go for it?
Yeah, yeah. Dan, talk to me about autism. Like, why out everything do you want to talk about autism to people?
You know, it's funny. One of the reason is because well, there's a few reasons, but when I was first diagnosed with autism at the age of 26, even though I had had previous diagnosis of all kinds of stuff, but they didn't really know. And, you know, when I was a kid, you're going back to like the 80s and nobody was really diagnosing autism in, you know, the rural parts of Wales in the 80s. And so when I finally was diagnosed with autism, the kind of outcome was, for me, was, well, there's literally no information out there. Like, you had the National Autistic Society's website, and I think that was it. I mean, there was no YouTubers, there was no influencers. And I was like, wow, you know, that, how am I going to get this information out? Because I was really passionate about wanting to talk more about it, because I had 26 years of like undiagnosed, you know, life that I've lived and worked with and coped with and survived. So I was like, how did I survive 26 years of being diagnosed? Well, it's very simple. You know, I created mechanisms and I wanted to teach those. So I was like, okay, let's do that. And so that's the reason kind of why I want to talk about autism, because it's such a niche, untalked about, because it's kind of taboo. A lot of autistic people are nonverbal, so they don't have the ability to verbally communicate. Not a lot of autistic people are comfortable around cameras, but I was blessed with the fact that I've been a performer, the music performer, since I was 16, touring the world and stuff, playing music. So I was like, okay, well, now I have the ability to talk in front of a camera, like let's go. And so that's why it all kind of just slotted together for me, really. I mean, there's more to it, but that's, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great, like what you do, because like I think, uh, like you say, you don't realize like how much you're doing and how much you're helping people until like people reach out to you and say like they really enjoy your content and everything.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, you know, we get like thousands of replies. Me and my team literally sift through thousands of messages every single day. One of the most interesting things is what keeps me going. So when sometimes I have a bad day, everybody has bad days, and I'm like, oh man, gotta do some more video content and all this kind of stuff, which I love to do. But sometimes it does become like a bit of a chore every now and then if you're not really into it, you're having a bad day. Anyway, I come across comments and people are like, dude, I just want to tell you that, like, you saved my life. Even if you don't even read this email or read this comment, I just want you to know that, like, you changed my life and I'm forever grateful. That stuff like hits me right in the heart. Like, it's like the hand of God reaching out and touching you in the face. I'm like, wow. Because it really wakes me up to think this is my calling in life and this is how I'm helping people. So I then take my absolute damnedest time to reply to those people in the most meaningful, heartfelt way, to express to them how much gratitude I have for them just reaching out, let alone being able to use what I say to help them.
Yeah, yeah. Because like at first, like you think that, because like you say, you're always gonna have the good and bad days, but like of course that like you're gonna get loads of comments, but like it's just I think it's good that you enjoy what you're doing, Dan, because like if you didn't, there wouldn't be much point with that.
No, exactly. Like, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then just don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But if you enjoy what you're doing, then keep going, because, like, we should only really do things we enjoy in life. There's a saying that I heard from a Zen Buddhist called Alan Watts, and he said, what would you rather, a long life filled with misery or a short life filled with happiness? I don't know which one I'd take. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like what with your autism, Dan? Like what would you say you struggle with your autism? Like, would you say?
I think some of the main bits, understanding contextual conversation with people on uh, um, an authoritarian level, or like, say, there's a serious conversation going on, like, my girlfriend wants to talk to me about moving house or buying a car or something. It's hard to, when something is of serious nature, it's hard to really understand cohesively that conceptualization of what they're saying. It takes a while to really digest that information, and that causes for many, many issues. And a lot of upset, because I'm like, I get so frustrated, and that frustration then causes me to perceive it as anger. Another is the fact that I'm constantly in a state of panic. Not a lot of people talk about this, but I'm doing videos and stuff on this, and you know, so I'm constantly panicking about situations that don't need to be panicked about. But my body is putting myself, because of my phenotype of autism, it's putting my body biologically in a state of panic constantly, or fear that something crazy terrible is going to happen all the time. And so I'm constantly on edge. So if anybody does anything, you know, the slightest thing could really make me go, ah, you know, and then like get me what perceived as anger, but it's sheer panic, you know, like literally like fighting for your life panic. And the other is the inability to understand socialized situations and public situations of mass social gatherings. Like one of my dreams would be to, like, you know, go on a train to London on my own, walk into the middle of like Camden, grab a tea, and just hang out, you know. But I can't do that right now. I've never been able to do that. I don't see how I could ever. And that just deeply upsets me, you know. Like that's one of the things I don't really talk about it often, but like it deeply upsets me, and it impacts me, because the chaos of getting a train and understanding which train to get on. Once ever I got on a flight from my hometown to my friend's hometown. It's a 45-minute flight from where I live in Anglesey to Cardiff, and I missed the flight back. There's literally one plane from that terminal, and I missed the flight back, dude. Like seriously. So like it traveling and being somewhere with public is so chaotic for my mind and brain. I can't even, I can never, you know, and it's, I don't know. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, because like on trains, it is the noise, especially if you're underground. It's really irritating, isn't it? Like that noise and how people are close to you anyway. Like I don't know about you, but those social situations, like in big events, I don't like them anyway. So it is very hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super difficult, especially like, you know, when you've got a job like mine, you know, you're expected to be in London a lot. You know, I've got a keynote speech in London in 2 months. I'm doing a keynote talk in the autism show in London. I've got one in Birmingham. I'm talking in the Excel, talking in the NEC, and then I'm talking in Manchester Event City, I think I'm talking at. It's just like, but you know, and it's crazy, because you have to go to those situations. How do you do it? You know, it's a whole ensemble for me to get to these places. It's just unbelievable, but I just have to, because like that's my job.
Yeah, you wouldn't change it for the world, would you?
Not at all, my friend.
No. Um, like, well, for me personally, Dan, I'm quite sensory in my autism.
Mhm.
And so I don't like if someone eats, like in those situations, like the eating, like with big, like forks. To me that feels like the blackboard chalk,
Oh man,
like
yeah,
that. That's what it feels like to me, and it's hard to speak about it to people, because if you do, they might do it because they're your
just to
friend.
trick you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they might do it on purpose because
yeah.
they know
Just want
it
to see
annoys
what
you.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Got who needs enemies when you got friends? That's stupid.
Yeah.
But I totally get that, you know, because like I have sensory issues with food as well, especially like smells of food. Like when I go to like the grocery store, and you know they have like deli counters and like
Yeah.
Morrison's and stuff like that, and like all that smell coming from there, I just can't deal with it. So I have to like walk the other side of the store to kind of like get all my shopping done and then come back. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, the thing is, we all have like struggles and weaknesses and also strengths in various areas. You know what I mean? So I think like we can't really like pinpoint, say like all autistic people are going to have problems with the store. You know what I mean? But most maybe,
Yeah.
but you know, you can't really pin it down to one.
No, there's so many different things. Like because of autism, you talk about so much, can't you? Like with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's such um a vast subject. You know, you could spend literally hours and hours on end listening to lectures and reading books, but you'd still be none the wiser. You know what I mean? It's such a device. You have to like have hands-on experience with a variant amount of autistic people. I think we do have like hallmarks and traits that are, you know, shared between all of us. But I think, you know, the how they impact us, the level of severity is so diverse. That's what causes a lot of people to go like, I have no idea. It's such a complex kind of notion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. They're so. That's what I love about being autistic and other people having autism as well, because we all relate from each other. It's a very good community, I think.
Yeah, it's a close knit community. You know, everyone kind of like And I was saying this just now. I just did an Instagram live like interview just then, and just before going on to this, and they were saying about how, like, why is diversity important, and why is the exposure of autism awareness important? I said it's important for the autism community, and the simple fact is, it's nice to see people who relate to you, and then you feel less alone. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
super important.
Yeah, because I was diagnosed when I was 9, and I didn't actually accept being autistic straight away. It took
Yeah.
time, like
Yeah.
build confidence, and like here we are talking to you.
No, it is, and most of it is a confidence thing. Confidence is everything. Confidence comes from a value of self-knowing and self-acceptance, but you have to first love yourself, and then breed that understanding of who you are, what you want to do, what you do, and then go, okay, yeah, that's who I am. I know who I am. And deep down, the thing is, what's funny, Mason, like, the deep down, we all know who we are. We all know, what we are, and that's all it is. It's just connecting yourself to that to go, okay, fine. And everything else becomes a confidence game. You just go, okay, well, I'm confident in being myself, so everything else can go to hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? Like confidence, because before the pandemic, I did a confidence program for young people to
Wow,
boost their confidence, because I wanted to help them. Um,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
because when I was younger, I wanted people to be more confident than I was when I was younger.
Yeah,
Because I feel like if they're more confident than me, it may get them out their shell a bit more.
yeah, or quicker, right?
Yeah, quicker.
Yeah, and it gives, and but confidence gives you the ability to go for opportunities, right? Because we all have chances for things, but we don't always have opportunities. And so when an opportunity presents itself, if you've got a lack of confidence in an area, you may not go for the opportunity, and you don't want to miss an opportunity. Life's amazing, it's ending every second of every minute of every single day. So just always grab every opportunity and go, yeah, okay, I'm going to run with it. As long as it's a good one and you want to do it, obviously.
Yeah, of course. And I like with your job, Dan, you've got to be confident, haven't you? Like
You have to be.
to go on camera and show your face. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And there's a level behind that, Mason. Is like, not just that what they see is like, people will pry into your life and they want to know, because I'm quite transparent. I share my life. I share what I do. Everyone knows that, like, I have a partner and we have a son, and, and it's kind of like, you have to be able to be confident in sharing your life to a certain extent to allow people to understand. And it's kind of like a sacrifice in a way, because people know this information about you, which can sometimes be weird. But other times, you got to think, well, I'm giving this episode to allow people to kind of have an idea of what it's actually like. What are the struggles that are presented? What is it like living that life? And that's a confidence thing as well. So it's good though.
yeah, yeah. Like we wouldn't be doing a podcast together if we weren't confident enough to be here.
Exactly. We're like
No,
sitting in the corner being like, no.
no,
Yeah, or just
no,
cancelling on each other constantly.
no. But I think the good thing about confidence, everyone has different levels, different limits, like what they can do. So we
Yeah,
could be confident doing this, talking about our story, but we may
yeah,
not be confident about like going to an event, something
yeah,
like that.
exactly. Yeah, and like, having that ability to know, what you are happy with and aren't happy with is, again, another confidence build, because you go, like, I know who I am, and that's it. And do you know what? It strays you away from being susceptible to bullying. I find this a lot. Confident people rarely get bullied, because they can just be like, well, this guy's obviously got issues going on in his life. See you later. You know what I mean? Because,
Yeah,
like, bullies prey on people who are unsure of who they are.
yeah, yeah,
So, you know what I mean?
yeah. I know that experience because
Yeah.
like I think like I had that experience when I was younger and I wasn't confident and I was a
If
very
you,
shy person.
yeah, but if you apply that same experience to you now, I bet you kick ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I
Like,
mean?
do you like because then I went to mainstream school over to a special school,
Yeah.
and it was very different experiences. And I always say now I love to go back to mainstream school just to see how they do things now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like if it's any different. Not that I would do a class, I'm too old.
Well, you could always try.
Yeah,
Hey, what's
maybe.
up? How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, like it really annoys me though because like even hearing a week or so ago, like an organisation saying that for Autism Acceptance Day,
Yes.
that they put out that people need to be cured for autism because it is a disease and stuff like that.
Oh, I
So
saw that.
yeah, that really annoyed me. I don't like ignore everyone.
Yeah.
I think it was
What
on
was that
Twitter.
about?
It was on
It was on
Twitter.
Twitter. I saw it on
Yeah,
Twitter. Yeah.
yeah. And I retweeted it, and not that they're probably not going to see it, but I just said it's not a disease. It's something we should be proud of and stuff. So I
Yeah,
didn't.
100%. Yeah, it's not a disease. I mean,
No, no,
goodness
no.
me. Like what it's crazy, isn't it, how people think about autism?
Yeah, yeah. Like knowing that the work you do, the work I do, the work that every advocate does out there, it's it helps to stop this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it gets rid of like stigma because in a big way or in a big sense, you have it's like an echo chamber. You know, you say something on Twitter and I see it, and then I'll quote tweet it, and then somebody else will quote tweet it, and then you become this echo chamber of like a common sense with autism. I think that's what's
Yeah,
missing, actually, the common sense of autism.
yeah. Like another thing. Well, actually, that post got taken down, I believe, as well. So we did something right.
Ah,
Yeah. Like a friend of mine actually like writ to them, like to
yeah.
tag them in a post, and it got taken down. So
Oh,
but even though they got taken down, Dan, what I still don't, if they're just thinking autism disease, I wonder what else they think about other things.
oh, yeah, exactly. Like you don't know what else is going on, and like what else are they going to release?
No, no.
Which is a shame.
Yeah. What's your thought on Awareness Month in a whole, like, Dan?
You know, I think it's great because it allows us to pinpoint a month where we can really go ham on, promoting campaigns, all that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, people, the average person isn't going to go look for autism stuff. When you have a designated month, then you have the ability. People kind of want to tune in. They want to find things. Other companies want to join in and maybe have you on their show. Like I did, I've done loads of interviews this month already. You know, people wanted to have you on the show and just talk about it. It could be a flipping fashion show, but because it's Autism Awareness Month, they want to talk about autism because it's relevant to the audience who may be watching because it's Autism Month. So I think it's a great thing. I think that there's a lot of politics, like yeah, behind it. People kind of have an issue with like, do you light it up blue? Do you, all that kind of stuff. And I think there's no room for that at the moment. I think we just need to get on it together and just go, okay, look, let's promote and help people on the autism spectrum in the best way you can. And that's all we can ask of anybody. You know what I mean? Let's not get into politics and argue about stuff. You know what I mean? Is it this? Is it that? It's like, guys, come on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I think it's silly about the colours as well. Like, it shouldn't really matter what colour you choose, like for
Oh,
the month.
yeah, absolutely. And like, it's just like, people, I don't know what it is. Like, but people have such an issue with like, oh, somebody's lighting up blue, and blue is associated with autism speakers. I'm like, nobody cares. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
yeah,
do they really care? No, all they want to do is say, hey, my best friend is on the autism spectrum. I want to show people that I'm an appreciation of this condition and I want to help. And that's maybe the only way they know how. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. There is organisations out there that are not selling the right information, but
Right.
it doesn't mean we have to involve ourselves with that. If you're saying that you can't use that colour, you're involving yourself more with an organisation that delivers false information.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, and this is another thing, I was on a podcast yesterday, and they were asking this question, what about autism speaks? And I said, guys, look, if you go out and say autism speaks is a hate group, don't even talk to them, they're horrible, and you send them all these tweets saying like, you guys suck, go to hell and all this crap. What happens is you have complete disconnect. You have a disconnection in affinity. You have a disconnection in communication. You have a disconnection in reality. You have no way of mending a bridge, reaching out, or understanding each other. It'd be different if you said, hey, autism speaks. I love that the fact that you're trying to do something good, but there may be some issues with what you're doing. I'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, just a
You know what I
nicer
mean?
approach.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
do you think is going to happen? You build affinity, you build communication, and you share reality.
Yeah, yeah, like it's just linking back to that post that we were talking about on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like anyone could be really nasty back to them, saying, why are you
What,
putting that out? Why are you putting
yeah.
is it a
Yeah.
disease?" And then like us, we could just put, you're sending wrong information out. Think next time before you actually post it, and revise yourself before you actually deliver information.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing as well. People just like, and I feel like, I don't know what it is. Some people just love to just cause crap. They just want to argue with people, especially on Twitter. People love hating each other on Twitter. It's just nuts.
Yeah. I always go for Twitter if something goes wrong, like if a social media goes down or
Yeah,
something.
we always just turn over to.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't use it that much, but I'll go on there occasionally. And like recently, like PlayStation was down, and
Yeah.
we'll go on Twitter, type PlayStation is down, and then people say it's not working, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like if you go on, onto Twitter, it's the same thing, isn't it? You see what's trending, and then you can see like other people talking about this, yada yada. I think that's a cool thing. I think it's a very cool thing, actually. I think that's what's great about Twitter.
Yeah, I like it. Like I don't use it as much as maybe others, but I do go there for useful tips.
Yeah, me too, dude. I do love Twitter. I should use it a lot more, actually, and I'm going to use it a lot more, should I say? But yeah. Anyway, so I'm on limited time. Time is almost up, Mason.
Yeah. Okay, Dan. Before we go, if you could just give maybe a last piece of advice to anyone listening and watching.
Sure. My piece of advice during, and I'm saying this a lot during Autism Awareness Month, is people always ask, how can I help? How can I be more supportive of autism? And I could tell you to go read this book and that book and listen to my friend Temple Grandin give a lecture on growing up with autism. Those things are all well and good. And they're long-term ways that you can help. But in the short term, what can you do right now? My honest advice is to be completely open with people and say, I am willing to learn anything about autism if you are able to share that with me. So if your friend has autism, if you're teaching a class and some of your students may be on the spectrum, just say, look, hey, I'm open to listening to you and seeing how I can help. That's all anybody can really ask of you. And that's a short-term goal, which will bring crazy dividends to the situation.
Thank you, Dan. That's really nice. And I just wanted to say before we end, the work you're doing is really amazing. And I aim to be like as a thing as you. Like you got all those followers on there.
Yeah, they're getting there.
Yeah,
they're getting there.
Yeah. Like hopefully we'll be able to do something like this again, or like to do other things together.
100%. Yeah, maybe I can interview on my podcast. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Like to go on your show and maybe share my story.
100%, dude. 100%.
But yeah, like to everyone listening, you can find Dan at the Aspie World, and he has a blue tick, so
it's not hard to find.
So not hard to find. But thank you, Dan. It's been really awesome talking to you today, and
my pleasure, my friend.
Hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, nice one.
Thanks, man.
Okay, mate.